Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Benefits Cool Down. I'm Eric Silverman. That's Ed Legande, otherwise known as Sam Obisanya, and the one, the only Ted Lasso. Today, we're going to read a script. We're going to be actors today, right? We're going to find out if the Ed, the Sam right there, really deserves to be living in the LA area. You ready, Sam?
Well, today I get to be Jamie Tart, don't I?
Yeah, you do. You do. I'm gonna stay Ted Lasso. Oh, I forgot my mustache. So here we go. I'm Ted. You ready? All right, this one's a fun one. Hey, Jamie, what would you rather be? A lion or a panda?
Coach, I'm me. Why would I want to be anything else?
You know, I'm not sure you realize how psychologically healthy that actually is.
So now I get to be Sam again, right?
Yeah, you can be Sam.
That was actually a fantastic quote. And, it happened so quick. I remember watching the scene that I remember sitting back thinking about it. And of course, it was something Jamie Tart would say. It makes so much sense for his character. But at the same time, when you relate it, to business and things of that nature, it actually has some pretty heavy impact, I think. I mean, what do you think? How do you think this relates to business, what we do, and how we can go about our day to day?
Yeah, I mean, it really is such a quick moment in the show that's easy to miss. But I think it's so fun. And of course, Jamie would say it, Mr. Bougie over there, Jamie being Mr. Bougie. Look, here's how I interpret it, right? If I want to apply it to business in general, if I want to apply it to benefits, I would have to apply it to staying in your lane and doing what you're good at, doing what you're an expert at, and frankly, outsourcing what you're not a subject matter expert at. Ultimately, with Coach Ted Lasso asking Jamie, does he want to be a lion or a panda? That would require Jamie in character to basically say that I'm not good enough as a person, so I would want to be somebody else. I would say don't be somebody else. You don't need to be somebody else, right? Everybody else is taken, right? Be you. Everybody else is taken. So ultimately, when it comes to benefits, look, I mean, dude, I see it every day, literally every day. I work with advisors and brokers and consultants, and I meet brokers and consultants and advisors, and they say things to me like, yeah, we handle everything in-house, and we're not really perfect. I hear them. They tell me they're open, they're honest, and I appreciate it, but they tell me they're not the best technology people. They are not the best when it comes to the differences and the ins and outs and building employee navigator and ease type systems. They admit that they're not experts and perfect when it comes to designing life insurance plans, employee funded, disability, the same thing, even dental and vision, I've heard, accident, critical, hospital, pet benefits, of course, prepaid, legal, student loans. Dude, the list goes on and on. They over the top are readily admitting to me, it happens all the time, that they're not experts in these areas, but they Forrest Gump their way out of it. They figure it out. They rely on the carrier to give them advice, which I would argue is not necessarily the best thing, because the carrier is going to only have the carrier's best interest in mind. If you're a broker, an advisor, and a consultant, and you don't know how to design a plan, if you don't know what you believe is proper, if you don't know what you believe is right, you shouldn't be relying on the carrier to give you guidance. You just shouldn't be doing it at all. You should be outsourcing that stuff to a subject matter expert, sometimes referred to as a SME, S-M-E. So when I hear this quote, I'm me, why would I want to be anything else? That would be like asking Jamie Tart to be an expert baseball player, an expert basketball player. Hey, Jamie, would you rather be a basketball player or a baseball player, a football player? Coach, I'm me. Why would I want to be anything else? I'm a soccer star is what he's saying. So that's my interpretation of it. And I would encourage advisors and brokers and consultants to not be afraid to admit that they don't know what they're doing on a certain specific subject, right? They're an expert at self-funding. They're an expert at medical. Great. Stay in your lane. Hire somebody internally who is an expert in all those other various lanes, or outsource it to a partner, a subject matter expert that you can trust. Same thing when it comes to communication, engagement, marketing, all the same. If you're not an expert, outsource it. What do you think, Sam?
Yeah, I think you mentioned a lot of great points there. In fact, it kind of reminds me of the earlier parts of my career, even where, I didn't, there was little to no success in bringing on, whether it was new business or new partnerships and new relationships. And I think a lot of that had to do with me trying to copy people that I was nothing like, right? And so it may have come off fake and not so much myself, and trying to be the jack of all trades and be the yes man all the time and things of that nature. And of course, you end up learning that not only is that just completely uncomfortable all the time, you feel like you're pulling yourself. I would say it's a different layer, a different aspect of getting out of your comfort zone. It's literally getting out of your skin even. But
Sure.
I'd say just find whatever you're good at, market the heck out of that. But then also own up to the things that you're not as well. And I think that there's some comfort and there's trust built between you and a client, or you and a vendor partner, or whomever, when you're open and honest in those. And I've actually been learning that myself too recently. When a client brings up something to me that's not necessarily something I'm an expert at, I want to learn about it. So, but then I say, hey, let's learn this together, or let me bring in an expert here or there. Fortunately, over the last several months, we have some clients that have international needs. I'm not going to pretend like I know how benefits work in the UK or in Canada or in Mexico. So I bring in partners that are external that don't even work for Nielsen Benefits Group, and they could be the expert. But the client was in a couple of those situations. The client said, "Hey, I appreciate you not trying to just take this on your own and maybe steering me down a negative path." Right.
Bingo.
And
You just
so,
hit the nail right on the head. That's the key that I hope folks take away is a lot of people get afraid or scared or nervous or anxious that the client's going to think they don't know what they're doing. Your client's going to more than appreciate the fact that you would readily admit that you're not an expert in that specific area, but you're not going to leave them high and dry. You're not going to require them to go find it on their own. You're going to align the perfect team to help figure out exactly what they need and how to accomplish it. So everybody, appreciate you listening as always. This is another episode of the Benefits Cool Down, Ted Lasso edition. And we'll see you next week. If you have any questions, thoughts, ideas for the next show, please drop them in the comments section below. Thanks, Sam. Thanks, Ed. Thanks, everybody.